Afternoon everyone. I just wanted to do a quick video on sort of some hand touches and some targeting, specifically because I've just been to the vets with Bliss. Now she's too young to really sort of have mastered any of these sort of tricks, but what I do with Rebel, particularly for his jabs and mainly kennel cough in the way, is I do a sort of cover his eyes and keep him still so that we can get the vaccine sort of up the nose quite easily without too much stress and worry. So we play the game where we cover his eyes and he stays there for duration. But I just wanted to go through how you can start that with just doing, say, hand touches and then moving on to a cover of the eyes. Good boy. And just sort of talk through the process that we do that. So the idea is, you know, you've got to think about what do you want the dog to do, set the criteria, then mark the right behaviour that you want at that time, and then deliver the treat. And now what is important to remember is that anything that happens from when you mark the behaviour to delivering the treat will also act as kind of a reward mechanism. So how you deliver the treat, if your hand goes to, say, the pouch, that will become part of the sequence for the reward delivery. So a dog will pick up on that. So think about markers. It's like if you always deliver from right and low, that will become a marker for them. So you've just got to think about that in terms of when we talk about secondary reinforcers, primary reinforcers. So the food is the primary, everything linked back to that can be classed as a secondary. So it's worth thinking about how you can inadvertently reward certain behaviours by not sort of noticing what you do. So in terms of the hand touch, to start with, your criteria can be quite loose and not specific. So the criteria could be, I just want the dog to look at the hand. So I've got a clicker here, and you can use a clicker or you can use a yes or a nice or whatever word you want. With Rebel, I tend to use words, but I will show you with the clicker. And you know, you have to load the clicker. You can't just start with a clicker. So Rebel does know what the click means, and how you load the clicker to start with would be, you'd have some food and you would just go click treat, click treat, click treat. So you compare the treat with the click. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want Rebel to do a hand touch. Now he does know this, so but what I would do is, if he was to look at the hand, well, you can see there he knows what a hand touch is, but if you just looked at the hand, I would click and reward. So that's the hand touch. Now I want to build some duration. So I need him to stay on the hand. So now you can see the criteria changes. Come here, good boy. Stay. Come here. Now if he gets a bit locked, stay. So if he gets a bit locked, I might just sort of throw a piece of food away, get it, and let him come back. Good boy. You see there how he's decided that he was going to stay for longer. So no click and reward if he moves. Good boy. But if he stays on, so you can see now the criteria has changed. So I'm no longer click and treating from just touching the hand. I've moved it on. So if he doesn't stay on the hand, nothing happens. So he's got to work out what he needs to do. Now I can add a sort of keep going signal. So you can see he's looking at me thinking, what do I do? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good boy. And you can see how he's already coming back to the treat pouch, because he's understanding that what's going to happen after I click is that I'm going to go in there and get the treat. So Rebs, come this way. Good boy. So now what we're going to look at is how we can then sort of do the same with covering the eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go eyes. Yes, good boy. Okay. Now when you start doing this, you might just put your hand above the head and kind of see if he'll look up. And you could then mark and reward. So if you were using the clicker, I'll just have to move my treats down here. Rebel will be really focused on them. So it can be good boy. Okay. Keep going. Good boy. Good boy. Eyes. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good boy. And then we can build duration. Eyes. Now I can add the cue word. Good boy. Now, if I don't use the clicker, then what I can do is I can just throw in a word, so I can go, yes. Keep going, 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 yes. Eyes. Keep going, keep going, keep going, yes, good boy, well done, there you go. So hopefully that's just a quick insight into how you can do it. But when you start, I mean, obviously Rebel is used to some of these and staying still. For you, the criteria, you know, may be lower. Now what you can add then is if you do a eyes, you can then have a chin target as well. So you could do chin target, so Rebel. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes, good boy. So then what you can do, go eyes, add the chin target, and now when you're doing kennel cough, hopefully you can see that on the video, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. What a good boy. And reward. And then you can get the vaccinations done and his nose, and he's playing a game and you've got control of his head, and it's less stressful because he's focused and he knows that the treat's coming. So hopefully that shows, but you just got to think about criteria, as I say. So when you start doing it, it may just be that your hand's up, and if his head goes up, you could click and reward. So if I was to do good boy, so just a look up to start with, just a look up could be rewarding. Then over time, it's like the criteria gets more difficult. Eyes. Keep going, keep going. What a good boy. And then you just add more criteria to it. But again, remember that from the moment you give the marker, then there is what we call the bridge, which the marker delivers, or the clicker delivers the ability to bridge the gap between when the treat comes, but everything that happens between the click and the treat coming can also act as a reinforcer. So be mindful of what you do. Good lad. Hope that's useful. If you've got any questions, leave some comments below, and have a great weekend.